Good morning again, everyone, and welcome to week 6 already of our online Pilates. So today a little bit of a change, and we're going to use weights. So if you have weights at home, either weights just weighing a pound or maybe 2 pounds, I don't know what colour yours are at home, but weights that you can put around your ankles because we're going to be using the leg weights later in the session. So find your music, get yourself set, and we will be ready to go. So let's start with setting that posture. Our feet are hip width apart, lengthening from the crown of the head, chin tucked in, shoulder blades gently drawn down. Remember, tailbone just tucked under and weight evenly through both feet. So from there, just some gentle shoulder rolls, gently moving those shoulders around, coming to rest, shoulder blades gliding down the back. Just listening through the neck now, so keeping your chin tucked in, turn to look over the right shoulder, back to centre, round to the other side, back to centre, and a couple more, round each way, gently stretch through that neck. And one last one to each side, keeping those shoulder blades drawn down the back. And you're back to your midline. And let's just stretch a little bit more into the neck, taking ear to shoulder, back to the midline, down to the other side, back to centre, and again, back to the other side. One more each way, as long as you're not dizzy or lightheaded. You can add in that extra little bit of stretch to draw the ear down, back to the midline. Same on the other side, gently draw down and back to centre. So last week we talked a little bit about tummy muscles, so engaging those tummy muscles, drawing them in just that 30%, hands onto shoulders, and let's go into some more focused elbow circles. So really working around those shoulders, keeping those tummy muscles drawn in. And there we go. So just remember, if you've acquired any aches and pains since last week, just be aware of those, work to do what you're able to do. And if you're just starting and fairly new into doing the Pilates, then just work with the levels. You may stick at level 1, level 2, those that are advanced and know what they're doing, go straight to those full levels. Okay, so from there, coming to rest, bringing the arms down. And I think from there, we'll just take a moment to pause and practice with breathing and tummy muscles. So if we take both hands onto the lower rib cage, gentle breath in through the nose. So the ribs expand out to the side, sighing out through the mouth. And again, gentle breath in. Sighing out, just engage those tummy muscles. Keep the tummy muscles engaged. Take another breath in. Sighing out through the mouth. And relaxing the tummy muscles to bring the arms down by the side. So let's move straight into some balance work there today. So again, if you're more comfortable with a wall or a chair by your side, then use that for a little bit of support. And then we're going to start with the knee drop. So engaging the tummy. We're taking the weight over to one side, floating the knee. You might have hands on hips, gently into that knee drop. So this is just opening the hip joint, releasing the hip joint. Perhaps 2 more. Working with that rotation, and then lower that down. Again, transfer across to the other side, keep the tummy engaged as we float the knee, and another set to let the knee just gently drop down to the side there. And one more, and back to rest. And again, transferring across, we'll float the knee. But this time we're going to take the whole leg out to the side and back to centre. So you're actually moving more into that, what we call that abductive position, stretching a little bit into those inner thigh muscles. Just one more. And lower that down. And again, engage those tummy muscles, transfer. So you take the weight through one leg, float the other knee. And again, we're taking that leg out to the side this time. And one more, after this one. Open that out, back to centre and lower down. And then from there, going on to do a little bit with the toe dip and also really mimicking what we do when we're walking. So again, lengthening up, tummy engaged, transfer the weight to one leg, float the knee. And then you're just bringing the knee down to touch the floor. So level 1, into that, just toe touch. Level 2, we're bringing the knee up and then we take it behind us. I haven't got much room behind me actually, because otherwise you won't see all of me in the picture. So we're taking knee float, toe touch behind now. And then bringing the arms down by the side. And the next time, as the knee floats up, the one arm floats up, opposite arm back, and again. So we're sort of working the same side. Left arm will float up with right knee, right arm floats behind, sort of mimicking that marching, walking position. And we will take just 2 more. You might be feeling it a little bit in those hip flexor muscles now as we've kept working there. That was it's about 22 more, isn't it? Okay, I'm back to rest there. Let's change that over to the other side, okay? So again, lengthening up, tummy engaged, glide across, float the knee. So we started just with that level 1, just as toe dips or toe touches down to the floor. And then from there, we went on to bring, taking the leg behind and in front. So toe touches to the back. And then we've got the arms down by the side. And if it's floating left knee with right arm and down, and you take the other arm behind you. And we'll take just 2 more. And back to your start position. So from there we're going to work with knee floats and arm floats. So lengthening up, starting with the arms. Breathe in, out breath, tummy engaged, float the hands up to the ceiling, breathe in and lower. And then you can take that on if you wish to add in knee floats with that. And there we go, float the knee, lower down, transfer and float. So remember to try and keep that nice straight spirit level across the hips here as you work. And then those of you that want to take that up another level and a bit more challenge with the balance, remain on the one leg, continue the knee floats. No, not knee floats, arm floats. It's the arms that we're moving, isn't it? Okay, and 1 more. Lower down, glide across, float the knee, and off we go again. So 1 more set on this side. And let's take just 2 more. And last one. And lower that down. So from there, let's take that on to do dumb waiter. So again, level 1, elbows into the side, just keep your feet hip width apart. Level 2, you can go into that step standing position. So we're lengthening up, breathe in, out breath with tummy engaged, open the arms to the side, breathe in back to start. Now for those that want a little bit more challenge, you can of course do that with your eyes closed. And that will challenge your balance just that little bit more, balancing on that tightrope. And then we're going into the last one there in this set to open out and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and lower down. Let's change that over. So legs, again if you wish, step standing or hip width apart, lengthen up, elbows tucked in, breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, open those arms. So remember, your elbows stay glued into the side. So we don't want to be drifting the elbows out. We're not drifting the whole arms out, just the forearms. And again, if you want to try the last few with your eyes closed, go on to try that. And then when we go into the last one, the next one we're going to open out and hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower those arms down. Okay, just realised now I said okay twice, which somebody once pointed out to me in a class, didn't they? I'm trying hard not to say that. So we're moving into arm floats. So we're breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, float the arms. We're moving both arms together. You're focusing on keeping the shoulder blades drawn down. So there's your level 1, your double arm floats. Level 2, float the arms, take the arms out to the side, back to centre and lower down. Open them out, back to centre and lower. And then, as long as shoulders, neck are okay, for the last few, you can open the arms, keep the arms raised, keep the tummy engaged, just work on that arm openings. Just bringing the arms back, or the hands back in line with the shoulders. And we will take 2 more. I'm colliding with my plant now. We've watched so many things in people's homes. We've kind of been looking at the backgrounds, and I think it is a bit more calming. And if you have a stark white background, it can be a bit kind of in your face, really. So my plant, which is normally here, but actually it's now colliding with me as I open my arms out. Last one. Open those arms and lower down. Now from there, we're going to move into arm circles. Now, some of you, we haven't got any weights or anything with the arms or balls or any resistance today, so we're going to do a little bit more prolonged work with the arm circles to use those muscles a bit more. So if you have done with me in class, the arm circle ones where we have the arms in out to the side and we do those arm circles, we're going to work with that. I'm going to have to move this plant a little bit out of the way, it's getting demoted. If you find that that's a little bit too much, then just stay with your usual arm circles, alternating the arms in that way. So level 1, just start with your arm circles. Level 2, with tummy engaged, float the arms out to the side. And then we start into those small arm circles. So this is the main one really, where we're going to really work these arms. You can let those circles get a little bit bigger. And a bit bigger still. So sweeping arm circles there. And then we are going to reduce the size of those circles so they are getting a little bit smaller. Smaller again. And pause and rest. Now you might need to lower your arms and have a breather. If you're really going for it, go straight into reverse circles. So take those arms around the other direction. Make those circles a bit bigger. I can feel my arms working now. Bigger circles again. If that's enough for you, just lower down now and rest at any point. Those of you that are still working with me, few more. Make those circles a bit smaller. And smaller again. And then back to rest. And lower down. Oh, that should feel a bit of a relief there. Give the arms a little bit of a shake out there. And then moving into monkey squat. So legs that little bit wider than hip width apart. Toes turned out. Breathe in, out breath, tummy engaged, hinge, bend, and float the arms. So I've been continuing to try and do Joe Wicks with the rest of my family in their different places. Some days he does an awful lot of these squatting movements, and my legs should certainly be getting a bit stronger. But we should be keeping it, for Pilates, we're keeping that nice and comfortable. It shouldn't give you any back pain. If your knees are a bit troublesome, just make sure that it's not aggravating your knees when you go down as far as you comfortably can. And then those that want to vary it a little bit more can come down a little bit more into a deeper squat. And another slight variation, you can, if you want, take those arms up a bit higher. And then you might just bring them down to shoulder level. So you work with them in a more elevated position, just for a bit of a change. So if you're working with me with those, we're going to take 2 more in that elevated position. And then back to our usual position. Just for that last little bit of challenge at the end. Drop down just as far as you comfortably can. Use a little bit more work with the legs now to push up. And 2 more if you're still working with me. And back to rest. So before we come down onto the mat, a little bit of stretching into the waist now. So feet back to hip width apart, lengthening from the crown, shoulder blades drawn down. Breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged. Stretch to the side. Breathe in back to centre. Breathe out to the other side. So thank you for all the comments that people have sent me, or some encouraging emails that you're still with me, you're still going on here as I persevere my way through the differences of technology. So we're trying my tablet today, which I think, if you saw my setup, we've got books, boxes, wooden spoons, hold it in place. Let's hope it's going to work and record the whole video in maybe just 2 bits today instead of the 6 bits I ended up with last week. So we'll see. Okay, if you want to bring that arm in, stretch that over a little bit more, back to centre, lengthen over. And then going into that last set, and we're going to hold that stretch. So hold it there for 3, 2, 1, back to centre, over to the other side, hold it there for 3, 2, 1, and back to your centre. So from there today, we're coming down onto hands and knees. If you're not happy on your hands and knees, you can start on the chair. So you're coming down onto hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and hip width apart. And from there, that work with cat stretch, engage the tummy, tuck the tailbone under, tilt the pelvis, and release, sending the tailbone to the ceiling, curl under again. Just make sure you don't drop down and send the back into too much extension there. Keep the shoulder blades drawn down, head in line. Nice little bit of stretching for that lower back. And we will take 2 more after this one. Tuck under, tuck the head under, curl all the way up. Slowly release from the head, the shoulders and the lower back. Last one with tummy engaged, draw tummy muscles drawn in, tuck under, curl up, stretch through the back. Breathe in and hold. Breathe out and slowly release down. So from there, just checking your posture now that we've got that neutral position in the lower back. So we're not holding the bottom tucked in. We're not sort of sunk down into the arms and sending the bottom to the ceiling. So trying to get that neutral, pelvis tucked under to the ceiling, back midway, and into cat pedals. So stabilising through the shoulder blades, breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, float the arm, breathing in and lower, out breath, float the other side. So that very nice, gentle, very dainty-like movement. So the shoulder blades staying still. So you're working here at stabilising the shoulders. Good for the posture. trying to keep those tummy muscles drawn in. So holding them in against that little bit of gravity there. And we will take 2 more. If you've had enough now on your wrists and that's getting uncomfortable, just rest out. Actually, what I should have said for this one, of course, is if you can't be on all fours to go to the wall. But I think those of you that normally do that know that. And come to rest. So from there, we're going on to the one that we did last week, threading the needle. So again, you can do this at the wall or on the floor, tummy engaged. Thread the needle under the arm, back to centre. So breathe in, out breath with tummy engaged, left arm reaches forwards, breathe in, back to centre. So working at that level 1 gives you a nice bit of stretch there. Cross that upper back. Level 2, come down a little bit lower, so you actually have to push yourself back up. Use those arm muscles to push up, collapse down and push up. So remember, you're bringing your whole back down. Your back shouldn't be pulling as you do this, but it's giving you that little bit of more upper body work, that kind of single arm push up work there as you work with it. And let's take another 2 or 3. Last set coming up. And then you may want to just rest back and give those wrists a little bit of a breather. So from there, we're going on to do our push-ups from there. So coming into that position. So again, if you're on the wall, it'll just be those few more push-ups from the wall. On all fours, you want to take your hands slightly forward, your hips slightly forward. And the way we often do it in class is we just have those ankles crossed. Breathing out, breath, tummy engaged, come down and push up. Now, if you want to move that on a little bit and do it in a slightly different way, you're going to bring the hands closer towards the shoulders, and as you come down, try and make sure that the elbows aren't drifting out. So we're trying to keep the elbows in line. Stretch you through the wrists a little bit more. So even though we haven't got balls to work with resistance today, or we haven't used weights for the upper body, we've done a little bit more work with push-ups and weight-bearing exercises there through the arms. And we go. Those that are still working, let's go for 3 more. So 2, 1. And then resting back, curling through the back there. Take a breath in that shell stretch position. Nice sigh out. Okay, and slowly uncurling. So if you have some leg weights, this is the moment at which to put them on. So you can grab your weights. Now I think I'm going to say, if anybody wants to borrow any equipment and you've not been able to get hold of it, then you can always, I think most of you know where I live, next to the church opposite the school, you can always just come and ring on the doorbell and you can borrow some equipment for the time that you're doing these exercises at home, if you wish. So leg weights in situ, starting with the heavy bit of the weight really just round to the side there. Coming down into side lying. So again, underneath arm extended if you're able. Remember, if that's uncomfortable for your shoulder, get yourself another cushion, have your arms stretched out in front. And we'll work today, well, as usual, we want the hips and the shoulders lined up. We're going to keep the underneath knee bent, but you're going to take that, well, it depends where it's comfortable for you. You might want it slightly forward or a little bit more challenging just to bring that knee back still in line with the hip. So the foot that comes behind you now. Working with leg lift. So breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, lengthen and lift, breathing in and lower. So those of you who are observing, I think you'll notice you got quite a longer video last week with all my patching together. They've normally been around 40 minutes or so, haven't they? 40, 45 minutes. I think we got 50 minutes last week. And I'm still very grateful for my son for editing them and putting them all together. I've learned a little bit more of the process, but I couldn't do it all myself. So we're still keeping those tummy muscles drawn in, lengthening and lift to feel those muscles. We'll just take 2 more and then we'll have a breather. And rest. So moving on from there, if you want to just stay with another set of that, that's fine. Or we're going to go into leg circles. So tummy engaged, lengthen and lift, and then maybe top hand onto top hip. So you're aware of trying to keep that pelvis nice and still, keeping the length through the leg, working those circles. The circles can be fairly small, they can be a bit larger if you're able to keep your hips, your pelvis stable. And you should be beginning to feel those muscles there working. So you're going to pause and then change direction and come to rest when you feel you need to. And we'll take just a couple more. And lower down. And then last one there, knees bent. And from there you can either take that into the clam, level 1, and just do that knee opening, or level 2, a bit more challenging, knee bent and extend. So tummy engaged, you're going to bend and extend that top leg, or we are working just with that open clam. So tummy engaged, keeping the pelvis really still and stable, and those small knee openings. So whichever exercise you're doing, I'm really feeling it now in those glutes. Let's come to rest. And lower down. So just draw that knee across, give that a bit of a stretch there. We've worked those muscles quite hard. And then let's change that over to the other side. So over we go. Underneath arm extended, hips and shoulders in line there. Underneath the knee bent, so forward if that's more comfortable for you. If you can, knee in line with hip, leg behind. Lengthen that top leg, breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, lengthen and lift, breathing in and lower. And we're going to take maybe 5 more there. So moving to 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower that down. And then from there we went into leg circles. So tummy engaged, lengthen and lift. You might want top hand onto top hip and into those small leg circles. Really feel those glutes working around the hip joint. So I don't know if any of you saw the big night in, I think it was. We've seen bits of it, but some of those sketches I thought were fairly amusing as some of the things we're experiencing in lockdown. And like using the internet and wondering whether you've lost connection, whether it is still recording. I don't know if any of you have been trying Zoom chats or Zoom quizzes and then you lose one person and then they come back. I thought some of their sketches were quite entertaining. I think we could all identify with some of them. The challenges of homeschooling, getting out for your exercise. Okay, let's pause there and then change direction. So we managed our family quiz last night, and we've now included our adopted son from Uganda. So we had my daughter in Italy, William in Uganda, my other daughter in Tarpley, the one here in Accrington, and actually Ian's parents in London as well. Oh, and my son and his fiancée as well. Okay, from there, lowering that down then. And did I change direction? I actually can't remember now. We'll do a few more. I think I did. Okay, lower that down. From there, let's move into either the clam with both knees, well, we want both knees bent. So knee openings if we're doing the clam, still working those hip muscles quite hard, and we're doing bend and stretch. And I am really feeling those glutes with my weights on this morning. So well done, those of you who are still working now with this. And if you're doing the clam, and again, we're just going to take 3 or 4 more. And back to rest. And draw that knee forward. Stretch out those glutes there. Okay, from there, let's come over into sitting. So we're going to do a little bit more work now with these quads, with the weights on. So you can either do that, you can do it fully lying down if that's more comfortable for you, with one knee bent, one leg straight. If you're able just to have that sort of supported sitting position, as long as neck and shoulders are all right, we'll go with that. So we want to draw the foot towards you, tense those leg muscles, so press the knee down to the mat and lift the leg. Breathing in and lower, breathing out and lift. And we are going to take 3 or 4 more. Two more. We're working those quads. You want to be feeling it in this bit of your muscles here. And last one. And lower down. Let's change that over to the other side. Okay, so draw the foot towards you, press the knee down and into your leg lift. Well, there's one thing with all this beautiful weather that we've been having, those of us that have got gardens, they should be looking immaculate. And I'm quite glad at least they're still collecting the garden rubbish. I'm really looking forward to when the tip opens. Because with all the tidying out as well that we can do, but then we've nowhere to take the stuff, have we? So the garage gets fuller and fuller. So let's take another 4, shall we, after this one? 4, 3, 2, 1. And bend those knees. Right, let's come down onto the mat. Now, you can, if you wish, take your weights off or maybe keep them on for the one more exercise if you wish. We're just going to do knee floats here. So we're going to find that neutral position and then breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, just float the knee, breathe in and lower, breathe out, keep the pelvis nice and stable, float the knee, breathe in and lower. So working with your basic stabilisation. You'll get a different view of me this week. I've realised the way we went down, like happens in class sometimes when you go side to side. I'm ending up facing the opposite direction. And let's take 2 more sets after this one. So really focusing on keeping that pelvis completely still and stable. Last set. And lower down. Okay, so from there, I think we will take the weights off before we do tabletop exercises. So you might want to roll over onto your side, come up into sitting, and remove those weights. And from there, we are going into tabletop. So, coming down onto the back, pelvis into neutral position there. And we are going to float the legs up to tabletop. If we're going to do single leg stretch, so if you don't want to go up to tabletop, you will be doing stretch out the leg and opposite arm for level 1. Level 2, breathe in, out breath, engage the tummy muscles, float one knee, imprint the lower back, breathe in. So the next level, both hands onto the knee, extend the leg, change the hands and extend. Those of you who are able to raise the head, tuck the chin, raise the head and shoulders, hand inside of knee, outside of ankle. So you just get that nice, smooth, streamlined movement. Tummy engaged, extend the legs. And if anybody wants a little bit more challenge to move on from that, just float your arms up towards the ceiling and keep the legs working. So you've got your different options at which to work. Stay with the level that you are able to do most comfortably. Now, if you're reading a breather, you're going to lower those legs down, one followed by the other, back to the mat. If you want to keep the legs in tabletop, you can do. And then we are going into the 100. So again, if you're not floating the legs, you can float one knee up and do 50 with the pumping, and then change over and do 50 on the other side. So level 1, float one knee. Level 2, back up into tabletop. If anybody is able to raise the head, tuck the chin, raise the head and shoulders. If anybody extends the legs, extend them out. Breathing in as we pump, 3, 4, 5, blow out, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 50, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 100. Lower the head, bend the knees if they were straight, well, one leg followed by the other, back down to the mat. And from there, let's take that into the bridge. So heels closer towards the bottom, arms down by the side, either just one small head cushion or no head cushion. Breathing in, out breath, tummy engaged, tilt the pelvis, curl up bone by bone, up into your bridge. Take the arms overhead, breathe in there, out breath and lower down bone by bone. Tilt back to neutral, bring the arms down. Stretch the back out. do one more after this one and then have a pause. Now you can either carry on and do 2 or 3 more of the rolling bridge as we've just done, or you can vary it and just do the bridge where you lift straight up and down, so a bit more of those leg muscles there rather than the rolling bridge. Or you can level 3, extend one leg and do the single leg bridge. So you're going to take that up into one of those options with tummy engaged. So either the single leg, double leg, or the rolling bridge. If you're working on the one side, we're going to take one more and then we're going to change that over to the other side. So it's tummy engaged, glutes engaged, and we just lift the bottom straight up and down. If you're on both legs, again, it's that straight lift. Make sure we're using those glutes, squeezing those bum muscles. Keep the tummy engaged. One more. And then come to rest. So from there, you might want to just hug your knees up towards you. Lower those legs down. Let's stretch those hamstrings there. So raise the right leg. Draw the foot towards you, slide the left leg out if you wish. Feel that little bit of stretch to the back of the hamstrings there. I get a little bit distracted at times here when I hear little beeps and things, just wondering whether my camera is actually still recording. Bend the knee, lower that down, float the knee up again, extend the leg, draw towards you. And back to the bent position and roll it down there. One more on the back, and from there we're going to go into work with the ab prep. So we'll have the hands, as we did last week, hands behind the head. So if you don't want to raise the head, remember if you've got any osteoporosis, don't be lifting the head, and you will just take hand to knee. You can float the opposite knee up. If you're raising the head, tuck the chin, raise the head and shoulders, float the knee, and lower down. Or going up to the full advanced exercise, float the legs, one followed by the other, up into tabletop, tuck the chin, raise the head and shoulders, and into that full oblique exercise. So you're supporting the neck slightly, hands behind the head, elbow towards opposite knee, other leg extends. Feel this working a little bit more into those upper abdominal muscles. But if you're finding that a little bit too much, we're just coming up to float hand to knee. And we're going to take 2 or 3 more. If you're ready for a breather, just stop at any point. And lower down. Okay, from there, just give the head a gentle stretch side to side, especially if you had it raised there, back to centre. And then we're finishing off coming over onto the tummy. So coming over onto the front, working a little bit with swimming to begin with. So forehead onto the mat, arms extended. Level 1, tummy engaged, squeeze the glutes, lengthen and hover the leg, lower down, breathe out and lift. So we'll all start with level 1. Keep the tummy engaged, taking that on a little bit further. Just before one leg touches the mat, lift the other leg. So you feel that little bit more pressure through the pubic bone there. Keeping the control. So really trying to make sure you're keeping your pelvis still, that we're not lifting the leg too high or pushing it up or rocking the hips. Really controlled, focused movement. And then if you wish, we'll bring in the arms. So you're going to float the opposite arm with the leg just before it lowers, lengthen and hover the other arm and leg. And then we're going to change that slightly again and turn the palms in. And just see if that helps us to tidy up that arm movement. So tummy engaged, float the arm, opposite leg, lower and change. So thumb is pointing towards the ceiling now. Palms are turned in. Really feel that control change over. Tummy's drawn in. Use a lot with those glute muscles today. Feel them working. And 2 more. And come to rest. Bring the arms down by the side now into the dart. So level 1, tummy engaged, draw the shoulder blades down, palms turn in and release. So it's like the points of these shoulder blades drawing down towards the waist. Level 2, let the head float up as well. Let's go with 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Hold that there for 3, 2, 1. Make sure your head's not tipped back like that, but your head is in line. And lower down. Finishing off then with the swan dive. So arms into that W position now, so elbows roughly out in line with your shoulders. Legs a bit wider than hip width apart. As long as you don't have a hip replacement, you can turn those heels in. Level 1, tummy engaged, shoulder blades draw down. Just lift the head and shoulders. The elbows are still in contact with the floor. Just gives you that upper body stretch and extension. And then if you want to extend the arms, the elbows straighten out as you lift, extending more into your lower back. And again, it's making sure we're keeping the head in line, that we're not looking right down or right up, but the head is in line as we come up. And we will take 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And lower down. And then just push back into your shell stretch. So heels down towards the bottom, curl through your back there. I didn't cramp myself this morning in my foot. And then slowly uncurl. Oh dear, that's gone into cramp. Okay, and then from there up into standing. So we're back up into standing, finishing off there. If you're able, we're going to catch that foot behind you, draw the leg back to stretch a little bit into the quads. Again, if you need the wall or a chair by you, use that. Stretching those quads a little bit, we've been working today. Lower that down, glide across to the other side. Again, draw that leg back, stretch into those quads. Hold it there. Lower that down, float the arms up, lengthen, reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe a gentle knee bend, stretch into the back of those calves a little bit. Back up to the centre, open those arms out, lengthen away. So we're finished, week 6. Hope you enjoy it.